that is from the day when that baby hatched out of the egg.
Yes.
So the first month he's growing up. The second month you're homing him. So he only starts at flying at about 3 months or maybe a little bit more. So it comes to how you see 5 months. If there are 5 months in the air, if it's 5 months from when the baby was born. But like I said, we calculate it from when the baby hatched from the egg, the first month.
Can I please open? Can white. So what's your average in the air? The roll?
Well, the average is normally about 5-6 seconds.
Oh, nice.
But the thing is, you get those birds that roll deeper than 6 seconds, that roll 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds. So yeah, this basically what they are bred to do for.
So, oh, this is beautiful. Oh, shucks.
You can catch that one with a nice, sitting nicely now.
Yellows. So your club also flies with the Sarofri in what's this
Federation.
The federation.
No,
rules.
we don't fly federation.
Okay.
We fly still the old method when they started with the pigeons, you know, with rollers in Pretoria.
Oh yes.
We have different kind of competitions from 5 birds, 6 birds, 7 birds, 8 birds and 10 birds. And then there is competitions. If you look here, we have black rings.
Oh.
We have the black rings, and then we have the red rings. So you get some competitions, we fly 5 red and 5 black in some of the competitions. Then also we have competitions where you fly 7 red rings, and there's a competition for 8 black rings. And then on the babies at the end of the year season, we have 2 competitions. That is the baby nomination. So we fly 6 babies, but with black rings. That means babies is the babies that you bred in the same year.
Oh.
So if you breed now, say for instance, beginning of 2022,
Yes.
you're gonna fly them in the baby competitions at the end of that season.
Oh.
That is that is why we call it babies. So we have different sizes of competitions.
Okay.
And then we have different ring colors. As I explained to you, the red rings, black rings, and then 5 red, 5 black. So it's all different. And then also our competitions rules are quite slightly also different to the other clubs. I think it's only JRDV that flies also the same method as us.
Oh.
MRK is the oldest club in Pretoria that still fly that method, except now from JRDV. Then we start flying here at the end of April. That's our first competition, and then when we finish here after 11 competitions in September.
Oh.
So that is our time period that we fly.
Got it.
Then just a few rules that are very different to other clubs that don't fly our type of competitions is we fly 20 minutes.
Oh, got it.
Now, in some of the competitions where we have the red rings and the black rings, no bird can come and settle, meaning coming to sit down,
yes.
and also no bird can roll down.
Oh,
So there's a slight stricter thing on how we fly. And in our open competitions, yes, if a bird rolls down, after he gets 3 minutes, if he doesn't fly up, he loses his points. Total. If a bird comes and sit down during competition time, it also loses its points. So you can see it's a very strict competition. That's why we still fly that old method in our club.
Okay, so for people that are in Pretoria that wanted to join your club, like what are the requirements for them to join your club? Is it just to have birds only, or
every person fly their own birds what they like.
Got it.
If you can say on that. The thing is, there's no certain requirements.
Oh.
It's just basically, like I said, it's ring colors that we fly, the way we fly our birds, the certain different kind of competitions and that kind of thing. That's all.
Okay, so in your club, is it allowed for the SA distance with MAF, the one in the East Rand, that side? Are they allowed in your club?
Yes.
Is it? Oh, so you have club members that fly those?
Doesn't matter what birds you fly.
Oh,
because if you think you can compete and you want to join the club and fly, there's no problem.
Oh, got it. Okay, according to you, when is breeding season in South Africa?
I won't say there's a specific breeding season for us in South Africa because of our climate. For us in Pretoria, who fly a certain competitions and stuff where time is a lot to, not always on your side, but you need time for birds to develop. We always start breeding here in January when the club give our our club rings for the year.
Yes.
Then we start breeding, because from January to somewhere, say beginning or middle of September, where you have your baby competitions, you need to have at least 6 babies that are rolling so that you can compete in those competitions. So we basically breed according to what the structure is for our competition.
Oh, got it. I've heard people say that you shouldn't breed red to red because they tend to get birds that will become long and crash or become roll downs. What's your take on that?
I'm not sure about other strains, but in the kin whites it's not a problem.
Oh,
you can breed red to red. So yes,
100%. Okay, there's a saying in the pigeon hobby that if you fly mixed families of birds, you'll get mixed results in the air. For example, some come in, they roll earlier, and then some fly differently, and some don't kit, some too long because they're different families. What's your take for that you shouldn't fly different families?
Yes, that is quite right. What they do is you will find, say for instance, if you fly local birds and you have, say, the bollet family, and you fly two you breed bollets and you have locals, but you fly them together, you're gonna have that problem of the local birds intend to fly very high. The kin white birds, they are not birds that like to fly very high. They like to fly their own height. I can say that there's a certain height when they're up there, which they prefer to fly and to roll to their ability.
Oh, got it. Okay, let's stretch it a bit. Okay, for someone who's starting in breeding birds, how many pairs would you advise them to start off with, and how many families? While we're still on that same, would you advise someone to have different families or just?
I won't advise to go for different families.
Okay.
I will advise that if you go and get birds,
Yes.
as a starter,
Yes.
go and get birds from one guy.
Got it.
Don't go and mix your birds up, because as a novice you don't have the knowledge of the past things of those birds and how those birds performed over the years, and it will just help you a lot if you get from one guy birds and you keep to those birds. Say for instance, you don't go and buy 20 birds or 20 pairs. The best way is you get 6 pairs, you start breeding, you learn about what you have, obviously the feeding and how you fly those birds and what medicine you must give them at certain times. Obviously, there's if it comes to medicine, everyone gives medicine, because certain medicine to keep your birds healthy.
Yes.
But at the end, there's certain things that the guys give them to perform better, or to boost them a little bit to fly higher. So yeah, for a beginner, I would say you get yourself 6 pairs, breed them together, and then and also that you must remember, pigeons, especially rollers, is a time-consuming thing.
Oh, got it.
You're not gonna take 6 pairs as a beginner, breed say 20 or 30 babies, and think, okay, now I'm ready to fly in a slug.
Yes.
And I want to be a champion. Yes, everyone has got the mindset that we want to do well, but it's about breeding. See what you have, mix them around those pairs that you have started with, see how the babies are performing, and from there you start stocking birds and build up. It takes time. You can't do it within a year or two. You need at least 5 years or more to actually get to that basic stage where you can say, all right, I have now from 6 pairs I've built up to 12 or 16 pairs, and then you know where you are standing.
100%. What's the worst piece of advice you ever got about rollers, and what's the best piece of advice you've ever got about rollers? Worst and best advice.
The worst, it's when you listen to other people, what they say of, now you must give this, now you must give that, now you must do it like this. Then it becomes like, as my mentor always said to me, people are like sheep. If someone say, no, this thing is better, or these birds are better than those,
everyone goes there.
Do that. Then suddenly everyone wants to go that direction of, no, we want those birds. No, we're gonna go. Then tomorrow it's, no, red birds. Everyone wants red birds because red birds are good now. Then everybody is running to get red birds. Then I say, no. Now blackbirds are better. Then everybody is trying to go. So if you start with birds, concentrate on what you have. Lock yourself out to all, I can almost say like politics of what people say about birds. You concentrate on what you want from your birds. If you battle and you don't come right, it's basically something that you do wrong.
Oh, God.
So you just have to go and look at the finer things, how to get your birds to perform better, or is it a breeding problem, or where you must just look for the fault. And that's a mistake that a lot of the guys do is they, once things are getting a bit tight for them, then they say no, the birds are not good, and they make them and they start over again. But it's not that. You must just concentrate on what you have. Take care of of how the performance of your birds are. As long as they are healthy and you feed them right and stuff, they will supposed to show you how they perform, and then from there you just start building your own thing.
Got it. People normally say that the quality of birds we have now is not as good as the ones that the guys had in the 2000s to 2009. What's your take on that statement?
I won't say that. I've seen a lot of guys recently that actually fly better kits than in those days, because as time go on, guys are selecting birds for the stock. Every time you take two birds that are related, especially if they are very close related, and you breed them together, according to genes, they breed babies that are deeper rollers, as which the parents are. It's not always the fact, but in most cases I've seen it happen. So yeah, I think the guys have developed the birds very much, a lot from those days till now.
Oh, got it. How would you advise someone who has your birds, where they're struggling with your birds? What would you advise them to do? Either feeding, either flying time.
Yes. The thing is,
selection.
If say for instance, if someone have my birds,
yes,
it's understanding of how we feed them.
Oh, got it.
How do we select our birds for breeding? Obviously, according to the pedigree and the family, how the family's been built up. And then one of the key things, and I think a lot of guys make that mistake.
Yes.
Is how can I say it? Consistency of if you say, for instance, if you feed your birds every afternoon, say between 5:30 and 6.
Yes.
And you fly them in the morning. Like for instance, in my case, I fly my birds in the morning. I put a little bit of food in the loft for them. I open the trap. The birds come and trap. They don't eat a lot. They eat. It's just actually to get them to go back into the loft. That's what it's helping for. But it's just you must, if you have birds, there's quite a thing is you must understand what you have and what they are bred for. This kind of things.
Is it true that when you feed your flying birds high protein feed, they become too strong in the air and can fly for 3 hours minimum? Or go too high to be unjudgeable because of the high protein or the high protein that's in the food?
I haven't seen guys actually give high protein food.
Okay.
Most of us give a normal mix of a lot of maize, sunflower, and then white sorghum, red sorghum, and wheat. So yeah, I haven't seen actually someone give their birds. I know that there's guys who have tried to get their birds fly longer and higher, but that they used certain medicine to do that. But from my side, I don't have actually experience of using certain things to get the birds up.
100%. After flying your birds, do you feed them straight up after they just landed, or you close them up in the cage so that they catch their breath, to feed them after 2 to 3 minutes after catching a breath, to avoid some eating more than others, or having a mixed proportion of seeds?
No. What I do is I have like 16 birds in a loft.
Okay.
Flyers.
Yeah.
I take like in the morning after they are up. I look about say 10-15 minutes, whatever I have time for, and then I put like two of my hands food in the bucket and I put it in the loft. Normally when they come and land, it takes them 30 minutes to an hour, then they're all back into the loft. Some birds might eat more than others, but the amount of food I leave in there is not so much that you overfeed certain birds, and certain birds are not, not well fed. Because at night, when I give them the full portion of food, they all eat the same.
100%. Do you believe that your birds will lead you to the feed they perform perfectly on? Or it's just you selecting that this?
No, I think is you will from our birds that we fly, the king whites is more. They will show you if they, when you let them fly. If you see they fly very low or they're too active, you can change the feed to get them less active and to get them to climb more to the suitable height where you need them to fly.
Oh, got it. I've heard people say during the molt you should feed birds extra feed for their usual quantity you normally feed them, because it affects the growth of the new feathers if they don't get extra feed.
No, I feed my birds the same winter, summer. It doesn't matter. There is a time, like for instance from the beginning of December till end of February, I'll put some extra stuff with the food to give them a better molt. What I normally do is I mix clean cooking oil that hasn't been used. I take a bucket and I put some feed in there, what I need for my flyers, for my kit birds, and then I'll add a little bit of sunflower oil and I will mix it. It mustn't be too wet. It must, the food mustn't stick to each other. Once you get that certain mix right, you learn it as you mix them. That also helps. The sunflower helps them a lot with the molting.
100%. I've heard people who live in hot areas say that they don't feed their birds corn. And corn you can feed your birds if you live in cold environments, because the birds do need it to carry extra fat to stay warm. But if you live in an area where it doesn't get freezing temperatures, they wouldn't recommend feeding corn because it takes too long to trim the fat off the birds.
Well, I don't believe here in South Africa we have that problem. I think most of the guys flying deep rollers, or is that distance rollers?
Yes.
I think most of them give their birds corn. I don't think even in our bollets, if you gonna take the corn out and you just give them, they're gonna look better than World Cup birds because they will fall all over. So yeah, I don't believe that's one of the things. Yes, internationally where they have very cold weather, they fly World Cup birds, and obviously they give World Cup birds only. They don't give them corn. They give them all different kind of mix. So yeah, that's possible.
If your flying kid of youngsters reaches 5 months without them rolling properly and have sloppy rolls, do you carry on with training them or get rid of them?
Now, look, at 5 months, it depends on how you look at 5 months. If it's normally our birds are concentrated. If you say a bird starts rolling on 8 months,
yes,
that is from the day when that baby hatched out of the egg.
Yes.
So the first month he's growing up. The second month you're homing him. So he only starts at flying at about 3 months or maybe a little bit more. So it comes to how you see 5 months. If there are 5 months in the air, if it's 5 months from when the baby was born, But like I said, we calculate it from when the baby hatched from the egg. The first month is for him to grow up. The second month is homing. The third month is basically when you start flying them, and then say from 4 months they're actually starting to fly strong.
Got it. How do you home your young birds?
What I do is, for instance, if the babies are small, if I can give you an example. Say the babies reach about this size.
Got it.
If you see they are this size, I put them outside the loft on weekends when I'm home. The reason for that is they already learn how it looks outside.
Oh, the surroundings.
So what I do is every weekend when I'm home, I will put them outside the loft, all of them, and they will stay here outside the whole day, which makes it. And then as they grow up, once they reach a month old, and I take them to the flying loft, I start giving them bath water, and I leave a few other birds outside to teach them. If they are outside and the bath is there, go bath. You know, I believe that the more your babies bath, the less likely you are to lose birds. So that is one of the cases where I let them get used to the surroundings very early, and then once the time that they actually start flying, or they can fly from the ground to the roof of the loft, they're already half homed. It's just basically now learning what is above that where they couldn't see.
Oh, got it. Is it true that sometimes seldom rollers can be one of your best producers at times?
I don't believe in single producers. I rather stick with, say, if I have 10 cocks. Say for instance, I have 10 good cocks. All of them must at least produce well. A single producer is like a click pair, which is only those two birds work together. And I don't have it in my loft. That's a thing that in the old days people were talking about click pairs and certain bird that breeds good and this and that, but we are now in the modern era. That thing doesn't exist anymore to just have click pairs.
Got it. Do you do color balancing when you're breeding your rollers? Or for you, what you focus on is just performance? Color does not have...
Yes, because my family is a lot about color.
Got it.
Color, performance, and basically how the structure of the family goes. I use black on red. They can give me yellow. They can give me red. They can give me black. A lot of the blacks, black to black bollet to black bollet. Yes, there they can give me white birds. They can give me strawberries. They can even give me red and yellow, because they have all that genes already bred in them. So it depends. It's a question of how the pedigree of the two, mother and the father, is. If you put them together, they're still going to breed you what was in the older generation.
Is it a must to keep your kid slightly hungry when you're flying to produce great results from your flying kids? Do you believe you must keep them slightly hungry? The kids you have.
I won't say yes, and I won't say no. For the reason is, I fly my birds in the morning, and then in the afternoon around 6 o'clock when I'm home, I feed them the full feed what I give them, and then tomorrow morning 6 o'clock I fly them again, and they always roll. So for me, it's not a question of to keep them hungry or not. I think it's just about what your training method is.
Got it. Would you say pedigree is everything for you when you're buying birds from someone, or it's not that important?
I will say yes, it does play a part. Because of how the breed, you need to know how the birds that you are using are bred, and you need to know from the grandparents which birds have they come out and where they come from, and also that you don't put brother and sister together.
Oh, got it. People say that you shouldn't go more than 3 rounds with breeding a pair. How true is that, and what are your beliefs on that?
Well, for myself, I don't. The most I breed is 3 rounds. In some pairs, not always.
Have you exceeded more than 3 rounds?
No.
Oh.
Once only for stock purposes, where I've bred for a few of my friends. I've bred, like maybe the first round for me, the second round for another guy, the third round for another guy, and the fourth round for someone else. But yeah, that's isolated cases.
Oh, got it. Okay.